name is Steph and welcome to Body Club. Today I'm going to take you through a 20-minute quick workout focusing just on strengthening through our glutes. So working on those glutes. You don't need any equipment today. If you do have a resistance band and you want to add that, or weights you want to add that, you can, but it's all done just with body weight, okay? So I'm going to show you everything today, just body weight only. We're going to start with a bit of a warm-up. Ideally, if you can do a quick warm-up yourselves before we get going, but the first sort of 2 or 3 exercises are going to be focused on getting the whole body warm, but focusing on activating our glutes, ready to come down to the ground and focus on the glutes, where we'll do some single leg work and some double leg work. So we're gonna really fire them up, okay? I'm gonna set my timer up. We're gonna do 40 seconds of work and 20 seconds of rest. And once that timer starts going, we're gonna fly through all those exercises back to back. So there won't be any time where we kind of stop. This is gonna be 20-minute of glute burn, okay? Are you ready for this? Hope so. I am, so we're gonna get going. 20 seconds, get yourself set up. If you have a mat, that would be ideal because you are going to come down onto the ground in just a moment. Okay, so the first few exercises are standing. We're going to start just with a normal squat. So take your feet slightly wider than hip distance, keep your chest lifted and push your bum back as if you're sitting into a chair. 40 seconds are on. Inhale as you lower. And then exhale as you squeeze and stand, okay? So these first few exercises, get my words out, like I said, are focusing on heating through the whole of the body, so compound exercises, but I want you to focus on squeezing your glutes. You really want to start to activate those glutes. Don't worry, when we come down to the ground, you're going to feel that burn through single leg, through the single glute, sorry. So we're going, got 8 more seconds here. Then we're going to move into a different movement pattern. Okay, recover. We're going to turn to the side so you can see. If you've done any of my hip workouts on Body Club, you would have done a good morning before. So we're going to do that again. So again, this is firing up our glutes. It's a hinge movement. You're also going to feel it through our hamstrings as well. So you can pop your hands on your hips if you wish to. Keep your belly drawn in. Feet, again, slightly wider than hip distance. Keep a micro bend in your knees and you're hinging from your hips, keeping your chest lifted, back is straight, belly is drawn in. Feel that pull through your hamstrings and then squeeze your glutes to lift, okay? So we are here working on hamstrings and glutes, firing them up, hinge motion, keep that micro bend in your knees. Try not to curve through your spines. We don't want to see this position. We want to keep lengthening through that posterior chain squeeze. You should feel your hamstrings pull and really squeeze those glutes to lift. Again, we're just warming up. If you've got those weights, you just pop them on your shoulder and relax. We're going to come into a squat and side step. I did mention at the beginning, if you have resistance, you can add it. So if you want to add that resistance band around your legs, you can, if you want to really feel that burn. Otherwise, just stay with me. We squat, we side step in that low squat position, and then we stand. So side step, as you side step, pull through your knee. So your knee is going first as we step, okay? So it's not toe first. So knee, and then squeeze to lift. Drop straight back down. Squeeze. So really focus on opening out through your hips here, getting the outside of your thighs, so your glutes, your abductors, so outside thighs, really working. Squeeze, 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 and lift. Keep going down, little side steps, little side walks, 3, 2, and 1. 20 seconds rest. We're going to go back and do those again. Slightly different with that first squat. We have an external rotation through our hips. Chest stays lifted, bum drops lower than our knees, and we've got a little turn out. So think like a yogi squat or a Hindi squat. If you do practice yoga, you've done them before. Drop it down, so bum comes lower than knees, and then squeeze the glutes to lift, okay? So knees are pointing the same direction as our toes, but this means that we can get a little bit deeper. So if you are working on improving your mobility, this is a good one to do. It's also fantastic to do before any strength training. So if you're doing any heavy leg work in the gym, great one to do for warming up our joints and getting into those joints, getting their mobility through our hips, knees and ankles. Squeeze and recover. Give those legs a little shake. We're going to go back into those good mornings. So again, hinge motion, feet slightly wider than hip distance, back stays straight, core is engaged. If you've got weights, you can pop them on your shoulders there, but it's a hinge, not a squat. Okay, let's go. So hinging, pushing the bum back, lengthening through that posterior chain. Core is engaged, squeeze the glutes to lift. So really focus on that activation of the glutes, working hamstrings and glutes. You're doing really well. We've only got one more of this kind of warm-up round. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit warmer now. Draw the belly in, make sure you keep that back straight. We're focusing on the hinge movement, remember, focusing on strengthening through the glutes and hamstrings, ready for that heavy glute work we're going to do in a moment when we isolate those muscles. Okay, coming into those side steps. So one squat, side steps, stay as low as you can, okay? And again, keep focusing on technique. This is the end of that warm-up, as I said. You've got 5 seconds. 3, 2, you ready? Let's go. Take it down and then side step walk, okay? And again, focus on squeezing the outside thigh as you do this. So we're really focusing on firing up those glutes. Should be feeling much warmer now. And then stand, okay? So finishing it off, you got 20 seconds. As I said, if you do have a resistance band, you can put that around your thighs just above your knees. Really, really working those abductors and glutes there. If you've got that resistance band, you'll be feeling the burn. You'll feel like that's the workout done. You got 5 seconds. Squeeze and lift. You got 3 seconds. Finish it off. 2. Come down to the ground, okay? This is it now, we're getting into it. We've got 2 rounds of all of these exercises. We're starting with a glute bridge, so nice simple one before we go into that single leg work. So feet down on the ground, dig your heels into the floor and hands alongside the body. Pelvic tilt, drawing your belly in, squeeze those glutes to lift, rolling up. We want a straight line from knee all the way to shoulder and then roll back down. Let's go again. Squeeze and lift. Hold at the top and then roll all the way back down. Stay with me. We've got 2 rounds of each exercise, that's all we're doing, but what we will do is go through each exercise once and then go back to the top. Okay, so we're not going to do them back to back and recover. So we're going to go straight into single leg work, okay? So extend your right leg to the sky, and really important that we're trying to keep our hips even when we lift. If you can't keep your leg straight, then just bend through your leg. Working your glute of your supporting leg, so not this leg here, the one that's on the ground. Dig through that heel, squeeze and lift. And again, try to keep your hips even. Keep squeezing and exhale as you come up. And again, if you want to lift your heel towards the sky, you can. Focus on what works for you. You may find that flexibility-wise, that's a little bit tough. Focus instead on activating that single glute. Lift the hips. Changing legs. Rest for a moment. We're going to go on to the other side. This is the only one we're doing on our back. The rest we're going to flip over. So extend that leg to the sky. And again, we're still working our core here. So belly's still working, belly's still drawing down. We're working that supporting leg. Leg can be straight, leg can be bent. Doesn't matter which. Squeeze and lift. Try and lift the hips so they're even, which is really the challenge here. Move with your breath and really notice as well, are you finding that one side is a little bit harder than the other? It might be that one glute activates one doesn't, so that's always good to notice. I'd recommend then that you start putting these into the beginning of your workouts, especially if you're working on lower body leg strengthening. Oh, and then relax. Flip it over. I'm going to flip this way actually. We're going to go donkey kick. So onto your hands. Let's go on our hands to start with. Right leg is going to extend, but we're going to flex through the heel. If you need to fold your mat over, you can. Flex through the heel, and we're going to drop the knee down to the ground, and then extend, draw that right heel towards the ground. Try and keep your hips as square as you can, and focus on that squeeze through the glute. So we've got a bent knee. Our weight is even through our hands and our supporting leg there, and we're trying not to rock through the body. So we're trying to focus on glutes rather than like that position where we're doing this, okay? We don't want to do that. So we want to squeeze and lower. Lift and lower. Pulling the core in and release. We're going to go straight onto the other side. So again, staying on all fours, drawing your belly in, flexing through the foot, so our heel is going towards the sky, not our toe. Try not to move through the spine. Time's going to go. There we are. Squeeze and lower. Squeeze and lower. So continue this movement. Should be starting to feel that burn now, which is good. That's what we want. We want to be working hard. We're almost there. We've got 2 more exercises and we go back to the top. Okay, this time I want you to come down onto your left arm, onto your forearm. Right hand stays here. And then right arm, that's not my right arm, that's my right leg, is going to extend to the sky. And we're going to externally rotate through that right hip. So slightly different position. We're going to extend that leg to the sky. We're going to draw that knee in towards the elbow and then we're going to extend. Draw it in and then extend. Squeeze as you extend. This one is going to burn. I can feel it already. Draw it in and then extend. Pulse, squeeze at the top, draw it in and then extend. Pull it in and then extend. You've got 5 seconds. Lift it up high. Doesn't matter if you can't reach your elbow with your knee, just come in that direction. I'm actually going to spin around so you can see it on the other side. So right arm is going to come down and then the opposite leg, so left leg is going to extend. And again, we are opening through that hip, so an external rotation. We bring it in and then we extend. Pull it in and then extend. Work with your breath. It's nice and slow and nice and controlled, but I promise you, you will be feeling that burn. You've got 15 seconds. Three, almost there, 2, finish it off, and 1, well done. Okay, let's go back. We're gonna do all of those one more time and then you are done. I am feeling the burn already, so I'm sure you are too. We're gonna come down into that glute bridge. Little change here, we're gonna do a little pulse at the top, okay? So there's a little adjustment, but exactly the same thing, heels down on the ground, arms to support, squeeze, drop halfway, squeeze again to lift, and then lower. Continue, lift, squeeze, lower, lift, squeeze, lower. Really focus on activating those glutes. If you want to add that resistance, remember you just pop those weights or resistance bands on either weights on your hips or resistance bands around your thighs. You can do it, or you can just stay with me. Finish it off and lower. We're going to go into a single leg glute bridge, okay? So extend one leg to the sky. Remember, you can do bent knee or straight leg, whatever works for you. Focus on the glute of that supporting leg. Dig that heel into the ground, okay? So push away from the earth, squeeze the bum to lift, and then lower. Push. And like I said before, you may find that one side really activates more than the other. Don't worry about it. Let's just work on activating it. Let's work on changing that, strengthening through the glutes. Push and lower. Push and lower. Remember, this is the last time that we're doing this, so you're doing really well. Don't give up. Even if that burn is real and you are struggling, just continue to keep moving and release. Relax for a moment. Anyone else feel that burn? Okay, we're going to change to the other side. So bend through that knee if you need to, or if you can do it with straight leg, then great. So you do what feels good for you. Work on that supporting leg. I'm going to bend my knee. Dig through your heel. Let's go. Push and lower. Keep the heel on the ground, pushing through the earth, squeezing the bum. Keep using your breath. Keep lifting both hips. So both hips should be even. You're going to find that this one's going to drop slightly. So you want to really push up, but focus on that squeeze of your supporting leg. Remember, this is your last time you're doing it. 20 minutes of glute focused work. So just focusing on that area and release. We flip it back over. We're coming into that donkey kick. If you find that on your hands is a bit uncomfortable and you want to come onto your forearms, of course you can. I'll show you this round on forearms. I know we did it on our hands before, but you can do it down here. We're going to work on that right leg first. Squeeze and lift. Little pulse at the top this time, and then tap that knee down. Lift, pulse, and then tap that knee down. You can stay, as we did in the first round, lift, pulse on your hands. So you do what feels more comfortable for you. Try and focus on activating your glute though, rather than moving your back. You're going to be feeling that burn now. So don't let your back get involved as our glutes start to fatigue, which tends to happen, okay? So find what works for you and release. I'm going to change it onto the other side. So left leg is extending, right leg is supporting, hands or onto your forearms, whatever feels good for you. So again, I'll show you the two options. Little pulse at the top. Let's go. Squeeze. Little pulse. Drive that heel towards the sky. Tap the knee down. So there's no weight going onto that knee. But we're not using, like I said before, we're not using our back. We're trying to focus on that glute squeeze rather than working our back, okay? You're almost there. You've got 5 seconds. Continue. Remember, this is your last exercise, so that slightly unusual one coming up. 20 seconds rest. Okay, this is it, team. Last time. Last 2 exercises. So remember, we come down onto our left forearm and our right leg is going to extend. We are drawing our right knee into our right elbow and then extending it to the sky. Let's go. So knee comes in. Flex through the foot and drive the heel up and squeeze the bottom, okay? So heel, toe points, knee comes in, working our obliques, so the side of our torso as well, and then focusing on that glute squeeze as we extend. This is one that you'll feel that burn, and as I said before, don't worry if you can't reach your elbow, just go to where you can reach. You've got 3 seconds. Make this your last one. And release. I'm going to flip myself around so you can see me on the other side. This is your last exercise. And then we stretch, okay? So right forearm comes down. Weight onto the right leg. And again, if you can't reach your elbow, do not worry about it. Come to where you can get to, okay? Extend that leg. Squeeze that bottom. Point the toe. Bring it in. Can you reach it? Great. If you can't, don't stress. Extend that foot to the sky, heel goes up and we work through that glute. Again, we're working obliques here. We're squeezing the glute. Inhale and then exhale, extend. Inhale. You've got this. We've got 18 seconds. You are doing so well. This is the end now. Then you get to stretch. Even if that glute is burning, try and work all the way to the end. And finish it off and recover. Well done, everybody. Awesome work. Make sure you stretch your glutes now, okay? So take a little child's pose for me and just rest down here. Maybe a little rock from side to side. Enjoy that. I knew that was going to keep going then. Enjoy that rest. Tuck your toes underneath and push up to a downward facing dog. And then bring your knee underneath the body. So we're coming into what is like our pigeon pose, really good for stretching our piriformis muscle, getting into those glutes, and come down to rest. I'm just going to turn this timer off because it's going to keep going. Okay, stay in that pigeon pose. Enjoy that stretch through your glute. I'm not going to take you through loads of stretches, but I just want to make sure that we do one of them at least, because I know what it's like. We finish our workout and we rush off. But really important that we stretch where we've just worked, extend, change legs. And again, pigeon pose on the other side. If you do have issues with your knees, I'd recommend not doing this one, but instead flipping over onto your back and stretching your glutes, basically in reverse what we're doing here. You would have done it, I'm sure, loads of times before. Just that little glute stretch. Again, tuck the toe underneath and push all the way back. I'm going to spin around. Walk your hands back to your feet. Relax here, relax your neck, relax your head, and then gently roll up through the spine. Highly recommend that you do a few more stretches there just to finish off. Thank you for joining me for that glute work. Nice quick 20 minutes there. You did amazing, and I'll see you next time on the Body Club.